Alright, welcome back. We're going to work on the water now of our troll picture. So if you missed the first one, I did the sky and the clouds and the moon in the first one. This will be the second video where we do the water. So I have gone ahead and just made a bit of a barrier on the rocks and the boat using my masking fluid, the same one that I used in the first video. So if you missed that on how to use it, you can go back to the first video and have a look at that. But basically you just paint it on, wait for it to dry, and then once you've done what you need to do, you can peel it off. So I've gone ahead and I've just put a barrier around here on the rocks here, the boat, and the bottom of the trolls. Just so when I do the neo colour, when I add the water, it's not going to spill up onto those rocks. You don't have to do that, that's just something that I like to do. Yeah, so I've pulled out my colours, my Neo 2s. Now these are the water soluble ones. Basically I've pulled out the blues for the water. Oh gosh. I pulled out the blues for the water, and then I've pulled out these four colours, which are the colours I've used in the sky, except they were done with the ink. And I'm basically going to add these in to the water as a bit of a reflection from the sky reflecting into the water. Now my thoughts are, because these three guys are blocking and essentially will have like a shadow, so these brighter colours will be more around the edges and into here rather than in this area underneath the three trolls. That will be some more blues and darker blues and things. As we fade out, we'll get some of that colour in around these areas, because the trolls will essentially sort of be blocking that sunset sort of colours from coming through too much. That's my thinking anyway. Probably not right, but anyway. So you can apply the Neo 2s by rubbing your paintbrush onto them. For this, I'm actually just going to go straight in and colour, well, lightly colour onto my paper. Yeah, so using them more like a crayon this time. So I'm going to go in first and add in my colours where I think I want some of that colour to sit, and then I'll go in with the blues after that. So, yeah. Alright, let's add in some of this colour. So, basically just drawing it onto the paper. Now where Kerby's got his lines that he's already drawn, that's kind of the way that I'm following, so that horizontal kind of look for it. And then at the end, when I go back in with my pencil, I can fix up any bits that I think need to be fixed. And I'm just adding it in randomly, nothing in particular. And I don't want a whole lot in there, just enough to give it, you know, that idea that there's a bit of a reflection in the water, being the sunset. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my blues. I might actually start adding some of the darker blues around the base. So where it's getting closer to those rocks, it's obviously going to be a bit darker because of the shadows. Lightly blend it out. Again, darker. Anywhere where I think there's going to be a bit of shadowing. Now I can go in with my water and start going over that. Okay. Now you can use your water brushes if you like. I'm not really a fan of them. I just go in with my normal paintbrush. So I'm going to go in and activate the yellows and those brighter colours first, just so I'm not going to muddy them too much when I go in to those blues. If they do get that bit muddy, that's okay, because I'll actually come in with my pencils and add in that colour back in anyway. Okay, so that's my Neo base down. So as you can see, the ocean, and it's got some of that water and that colour coming through into that water, with the darker blue sort of being into that middle where it's going to be shaded by those trolls. Alright, so I'm going to go and dry this with my heat gun, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do the next step together. Okay, so I went in and, I'm just going to move that a little bit. So I went in and removed the masking fluid and dried the ocean as well. So that's where I forgot to mention I fixed up those parts that I had accidentally stuffed up when I peeled off the masking fluid last time too. I just went in with my Copic multi-liner 0.5 and just fixed that line work up so it's not as noticeable. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is go in with my pencils and start working some of those blends a bit better and things like that. So I think I might start with doing the dark colours first. That's sort of where I normally like to start. So which blue do I like better? They're very similar anyway. I think I might start with this one. Okay, so this one is Phthalo Blue. I'm just going to go in and start working in some of these areas. Okay, so I am a teacher in my day job. So these videos and my colouring I can only do at night, on weekends, holidays, things like that. So like I said in my first video, this is purely just a hobby for me. The only reason I started to look at doing some videos was because I had a few requests around some of my pictures that I've done. For example, with these backgrounds with the ink, and I thought it would be fun to do, so why not? And at least then it's always there. I can just share the link, or I can just recommend to go and find my channel and watch it on there rather than having to explain myself all the time. Yeah, so the pencils go over the neos really nicely. I don't have any issues normally with them going over. Yeah, I am a mum of 2 boys. They are 10 and 8. Yeah, they colour with me sometimes, but they've got their own hobbies as well, so they prefer to do those most of the time. I also have a few other hobbies that take up a lot of time. So I do 3 different martial arts. I do Wing Chun Kung Fu, and I also do Krav Maga, and I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, so those take up a lot of my time as well. I think in total across the week I do about 7 hours between the 3. One of my favourites, the BJJ, or the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I am the only girl in my club that does it though. So I am training with men, but I absolutely love it, and they look after me, so it's not too bad. So as I'm applying the pencil work, I'm kind of just shading in and then bringing it out lighter. So go in dark, come out lighter, which will help with those blends. And I'm not going to go all over the place. I think I'm just going to start around the rocks and then work out slowly. Okay, so I'll keep going around the boat a bit darker, so it kind of pops more. The good thing about having that base down first too is that it covers a lot of those white spots, so you're not having to push as hard, you're not having to have to work in those places really hard to cover that area. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving this book. It's beautiful. His illustration work is just next level. It's phenomenal. The detail and the shading and everything else, it's just, yeah, nothing like anyone else's work out there. So my other favourite artists in the colouring world probably trying to think. I like them for different reasons, so it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to pick. Kerby's definitely my number one. I do a lot more work in his books than any others. Yeah, I think the next sort of one that I will probably colour the most is probably, I was going to say Hannah Carlson, but I haven't coloured in her work in a while. And I also like Johanna, of course. She was the one that first got me interested in it. Alright, I'm going to put some darker shadows in out here now. So where these waves kind of come up. Just shadowing along the lines that he's already got in there. Apart from that, Camilla D'Erico, I really like her Cute and Creepy. Just as something fun to do that's not a stressful picture. It's not big like this. It's not a double spread. Also, actually, no, I like some of them are double spreads, but they're quite spacious. They don't have a lot of detail in there, so I can really just enjoy sort of colouring in and going in with backgrounds and doing all that kind of stuff. Mel Panini, sort of only coloured in that Circle of Life book twice now, I think. I do like it. I don't know. I have, obviously, Kerby's my favourite, so sort of gravitate towards his books before others. And I think because he's got such a variety now, it's easier just to get lost in his work. Pencils. I use Prismacolor. I've got Polychromos, Prism isn't my favourite, although I do enjoy the polys on his paper. So I have pulled them out today to use on here. I like them for different reasons. Obviously they're very different pencils to use. And I also love my Holbein pastels. They're so soft and lovely. I'd love to buy the full set of Holbeins, but cannot justify $500 right now when my polys and Prismas do just as good a job. So yeah. Backgrounds of my pictures, I like to use the Neo 2s. I often pull out my ink pads like you saw me do for this one. And then I try not to do a lot of pencil background unless it is a smaller area. I just don't like how streaky they look. I don't want to get too far out without doing this area first. I'm going to keep working in this area around the rocks. Fumble fingers. So the sharpener I'm using is just a cheaper Faber-Castell one, but it does the job. Okay. Come in some other colour there now. And I'm going to go in now with a little bit more blue, with light phthalo blue. So I had phthalo blue for the darker. Next I'm going to come in with light cobalt turquoise. I don't want it to be too flat, so I don't want to add in too much light blue. This will give it a bit of a difference. It's not going to be as flat. I'm going to come over here and start blending those colours. So I'm going to go in the pink. Find if I need to blend them out a bit more, just get my white, go in, just run it over, help blend them out a bit. Get rid of some of those harsh lines. Alright, so I'm going to speed up this now and just go in and work on building in some more of these colours, just so I'm not boring you to death. I do work on an angle, so I'm going to turn that so you guys are on an angle. So I've gone in with my pencil and I've covered all of the areas that I had with the Neo 2s. So nice and smooth. The blend's a lot cleaner. I know it's hard to see on there, but I promise it is. Okay. Yeah, so the next step I would do is come in and add in some white onto the waves, which I will do at the end. And I don't want to do it now because my hand's going to smudge over it when I'm working on these guys. So I'll do that once we've done the rocks and the boat and everything like that. I'll come in and do some waves and put some foam and stuff like that around the rocks and around the boat and things like that. So yeah, all right guys, so the next video we will be working on these guys and the rocks, and then we'll do the final finish off at the end. All right guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.